about people who grew up in the 1970s, and psychology can prove it. If you grew up this era, your brain developed during a rare evolutionary window, a time of total freedoms combined with genuine responsibilities. And here's what's interesting. Most people who grew up in the 70s look at current generation and just laugh. Not in a mean way, but because they know something the rest of us don't. They experienced something that can never be recreated, a time so magical, so free, that decades later they still say things like, "I wish I could go back, stay there," or "We didn't know how good we had it." And I'm here to tell you why they're actually totally right. The world was genuinely different back then, and not in a nostalgic rose-colored glasses way, but in a fundamentally structured way. Let me explain. This isn't just about reminiscing. This is about understanding what shaped an entire generation's psychology and why they turned out so remarkably different from everyone else. The neighborhood was your universe. My mom, nothing like a... Until around terms applied on your baby the house, or that means of the afternoon you got to go the door and report to mom, got told you can leave, you're back, and told you know sort of the bottom of your street point and told their homes your baby. The neighborhood, what you were allowed, you're now, within running contraptions that determined how communities that you'll find your community was a year can. There's every boy knows every girl was part teaching of a wild different world. You're actually known by their parents, which aren't unique one and right. They broke bread together. They knew each other's names. They celebrated on birthdays and block parties like no other day. And by watching other kids' parents, you understood the diversity. Okay, historically, without having to read about it in a textbook, you watched it live. You were soaked in it. And put a neighborhood was creativity. These were days before helicopter parents. These were neighborhoods without your mind. The friend is something psychologists call all patience, and it shaped you in the power of delayed gratification. You probably don't even realize you waited for your house throw onto a wreck, not watching. You took photos, and if the day to see if the turns or if you want to talk to some, your memory's the phone number and hope they were home. Research on delayed gratification shows that people who grow up waiting for things have better impulse control, better relationship outcomes, and some better career success. Your interview's childhood was having to patience that modern life constant doesn't, like why sustained gratification does it. It's why you. The psychology of true independence. Independence shows that children who had freedom of movement without constant supervision developed stronger internal motivation and decision-making skills. You had to assess situations, make judgment calls, and deal with consequences yourself. Your parents weren't your friends, they were the authority, and they trusted you to be competent. This is why you can plan, adapt, and think critically without external guidance. Every time you look at today's world and feel out of place, remember this: you're not outdated. You're carrying forward capabilities that are going extinct. The independence that looks like coldness, that's competence. The comfort with silence that looks like antisocial behavior, that's depth. The ability to wait that looks like apathy, that's discipline. You survived and thrived. You survived a childhood that would get parents arrested today, and it didn't damage you, it built you. Most people will say, "I feel honored to have been able to grow up this way," or "We lived through the best decade to be a kid." And they're right. For a brief moment in human history, childhood was both completely free and genuinely formative. You got to experience something that doesn't exist anymore, a world where kids were civilized and feral at the same time. Drop a comment if you're a 70s kid and who thinks it was the best era to grow up. And if you love research-based content like this that validates who you really are, hit subscribe because we're just getting started.